There we go. It's Friday. And it's St. Patty's Day today, so good luck with that. I hope you have the luck of the Irish. I'm getting ready here for role play. And welcome to Denny Grimes, the Master of Real Estate, where we like to do mastery level role plays. And if you want to participate in a role play, this is how you do it. Just raise your hand. We set a timer of 4 minutes and we give you seller or buyer objections. This is a great way to prepare for an appointment that's coming up, or maybe do one role play one that you've already had so you can get better at it. I watched a video. I'm not a big, I do play golf. However, I'm not a big TV watching golf type guy. Being part of the bold coach for Keller Williams, they showed a quick little video today about this golfer who's supposed to be like uber good. He's been winning all these tournaments. I forget his name. You guys probably know who he is. And he was standing at the driving range, and he'd take out a driver and he'd say, okay, 306 yards. We'd hit the ball and be within a yard. And he'd take out a 3-wood, then he'd say 268. And he's got a guy there with a rangefinder, 268 yards. And he went through his clubs like that. I mean, it's amazing what professional golfers can do with a golf ball and how accurate they are. It's amazing what they see. You know, I'm kind of a hacker out there, and so I know the object is to get the ball in the hole. So when I hit my approach shot, I'm attempting to hit the green. I'm looking at the green. They're not. They're looking at specifically where on the green it needs to be for the roll to come down and to be below the hole. I mean, there's such a different level, right? That's what we're attempting to get here. So raise your hand if you want to participate in a mastery level. We love questions. We'll work with you on that. And I'm letting people in. So just give me a second. We're going to have a good crowd today. And I do want to remind you of the YouTube channel, Denny Grimes Mastery of Real Estate. Here is the, if you don't know, or if you want to share how to get on this call with somebody else, here's a QR code. I get out of the way. Al, how are you? My gosh.
So good.
Yes. And here's the QR. Remind me if you want to see them later. I'll put them back up as I let these folks in. I do have a thought for you today, though. And well, that's another one. That's my daily script practice. We have a conversation. If you want to, it's 9:30 to 10 on Eastern time, 8:30 to 9 Central time. If you want to participate with that, so I'm just all over the place, attempting to help people better their business by having great conversations. Here's my thought of the day. I see a couple hands up, so get your hand up if you want to play. We'll have some good time. If your name is Sherry, you may want to change your name to Sherry, or I'm going to call you Sherry, and I won't know any better. Here's my thought of the day. This is amazing. This is amazing, you guys. I'm excited to share it. Oh, I'll shut up and share it. Here we go. We all know interest rates are rising. Until recently, probably in the last week, because I had to give I do every year, I give a big talk on the state of the market here in Southwest Florida. As you guys know, I'm in Naples, Fort Myers, been in real estate here 40 years. I have been doing this for 25 years. And so it's really grown into a big program. There's somebody speaks on commercial, I speak on residential, etc. So we had 1,300 people there. They're paying $65 to come and get a nice booklet and have some snacks, etc. And so I've been doing a lot of research, and here's kind of an aha. We know interest rates are going up. I have never ever, because I don't follow mortgages every day because I have my team that works with buyers and sellers. However, you might know this, you might not. If you just go to the FreddieMac.com, there's probably other sites. This is just so simple. If you go to FreddieMac.com and you go up with the menu and you go into there's something you can hit that will get you to a chart that's live like this. Will show you what the interest rates are, what they were in the last 52 weeks, 15-year, 30-year. You guys can have real-time information. Yeah, I know you've got lenders for all that. However, I think the more we know, the better, because we work a lot on conversations where people are afraid to move forward because of rates. And the formula is you want to get them off rates onto payment. I'll get to that in a little bit. Here's my aha. I think the market's coming back with a vengeance. anytime the interest rate starts with a 5, anything with a 5, because I think buyers will be afraid. They will have FOMO, fear of missing out. You see, for the last 10 years, the average interest rate has been generally, except for maybe a month or so, under 3%. So there's a generation of people out there and agents that are not even used to anything below, anything above 4%. However, now they've seen the interest rate get as high as 7%. When you hit 5, Katie, bar the door. Now, I don't think, and this is a statement I believe, it does a renter no good to wait for that day, because this is what's going to happen. FOMO is a funny thing. As soon as that interest rate drops below 5, there's a lot of people, you'd have to agree, they're sitting on the fence, and immediately when they come off the fence, although our inventory is growing, we still have relatively low inventory. As soon as that happens, in a matter of a couple of days, maybe a week, the media will pick up on it. Guess what will happen? Prices will start rising again. And so all that time they've been waiting, they finally get the interest rate that has a 5 in front of it, and the prices go up. That's my view. I don't know when that might happen. I just think that will be it. The other thing I want you to write down and just ponder this. 3 and 4% are gone forever. I think that's a line out of Sandlot. Forever. Got that? It's like, guys, you're not getting in your high school pants anymore. I mean, the 32 waist is like a little bit hard to get into. You can buy them the stretchy ones. I like that. So any comments on that real quick? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Shut up, Denny. Get on with it.
How are you so confident when you say they're gone forever? Like, I thought our approach is always, we never know what's going to happen, but why are you saying that 3 and 4 are gone forever?
I just don't think, I think they were unrealistic low, and that is just what I feel in my bones. Am I making a prediction? Yes. However, I don't think we'll see them. And even if we see them like in whatever, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, I mean, it doesn't worth, I don't think it's worth waiting. And you know why? I think the market will accept 5. Historically, for 30 years, the average is 6. So that's that. One more thing I want to get. Go ahead.
Those rates that we saw, those were being artificially produced by government intervention. So
yeah, there's been a lot of that. Somebody asked in the chat where I got that, and somebody else put something in the chat. Just go to FreddieMac.com and go up to the little tab there, and you'll get to the mortgage one. One more thing I want you to write down for if you don't use a calculator, you don't have the app, you have to get an app so you can do payments. You can get a real simple app. Some of you guys already have it. If you want to put what you have in the chat for these other folks, that'd be awesome. However, I'm going to give you a factor. I'm using 5.5%. If the rates get to 5.5%, I just picked that randomly. It's in the 5s, right? It's $5.70 a thousand. You can just kind of remember, if you want $5, if you want, you'd be a little low, or $6. That means a $100,000 loan would have a payment of $570. So if you don't want to get really deep into decimal points, just understand the factor. You can do quick math in your head, just but understanding factors. And if you have a financial calculator, you can figure it out exactly. So that's my geeky stuff today. I just want you to be aware there's a lot of concern out there. There's a lot of people hesitating because of rates. It's typically foolish. It is foolish to wait on the rate. I'll say it one more time and I'm done. Promise. If they wait for the rate, they're going to pay more. There you go. All right, here we go. I got some hands up. Here is, let's go back here a minute. Adam's up, Tanner's up. Who else is coming up here? We're going to do some role plays. Adam beat Tanner. This is an interesting day. Yael's back in the fold. Nice to see you again. She's always a crowd favorite. Okay, Adam, we're going to go really quick. We're going to go through as many of these as we can. Mastery level. I'm going to use a fine grade of sandpaper on you. Everyone else can listen and participate. You can share in the chat. I'll do, or share out loud if you want to. Here we go, Adam. Buyer or seller?
Buyer.
Buyer. Okay, and you know the model, right? Can you see it? Acknowledge, isolate, clarify, answer, close. Now, you want a buyer. I'm gonna throw you softball.
Ooh.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna wait for the interest rates to come down.
Okay, I can understand that. So you're saying, so other than you wanting to wait for interest rates to come down, Denny, is there anything else that's keeping you from getting in the market?
I think, well, I'm gonna stop just for a second. You guys remember the days? I mean, I have grandkids now that are in high school. So I remember the days when my kids were playing sports and they did something right. Oh, that was great. I feel so proud, Adam. That was great. That was a great acknowledgement and isolation. I feel like a proud parent. All right. No, there's nothing else.
You should. Got it. Okay. And what is it about the interest rates that's got you hesitant?
Well, okay. Well, it raises my payment and it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable.
Okay. And let me ask you, is it a fact that it's uncomfortable or it's out of reach for you, Denny?
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what they are, but if the interest rates have gone up to, I think around 6.5%, but I could have bought when they were 3.5 or 4. So I'm just going to wait for them to settle down a little bit.
So I understand. So other than the interest rates, nothing else really holding you out in the market. Let me ask you this, Denny. Remind me again, why are you moving? Why are you looking to get a home?
Good. Now he's going to second base, which is motivation. Remember, the clarification is going to be on first base. Second base will be motivation. However, now again, okay, I'm going to tell you, we need more space.
Need more space. Okay. And do you have to, are you renting currently or do you own?
There's the question. Nice job. You guys have got to get that question out, in the first few minutes, because that will determine your conversation. We are renting.
Okay. So you're currently renting. And how long have you been renting for, Denny?
About 5 years.
Okay. And over that time, has your rent gone up in payment?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Well, let me ask you, do you think there's a chance that your rent payment would go up in the near future?
Yeah, but it's not going to double.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Denny. I mean, obviously, you're looking to purchase a home. You understand the benefits of that. And my question is, what was a comfortable monthly payment when you were looking? What payment would work for you?
He didn't like the word comfortable because he knows I don't like the word comfortable. Payments aren't comfortable. It would be, well, okay, well, my rent is $2,200 right now. And I think we can qualify for, I mean, I don't think it's an income. I think we can qualify for about 26, maybe 2,800.
Okay, so you're paying $2,200 currently.
Yep.
And your monthly payment, if you were to purchase, would be $2,600. So we're talking about a difference of about $400 a month.
That's what I'd qualify for, yes.
And let me ask you, Denny, I mean, you're getting the benefit of a larger space with this purchase. You're getting the benefit of equity gain over time.
I'm snoring. Why am I snoring? I'm snoring. Why?
Talking too
Told you a
much.
lot.
Well, you're not. Yeah, you're
Told
not.
you two
asking.
things.
Yeah, you're preaching to me now. Ask.
Denny, great point there. Let me try that again, Denny. I
Okay.
guess what I'm asking you is, what are the benefits of home ownership for you if you were to do it now?
Well, we need a bigger space. I mean, I want a garage for my workshop. I want a backyard for my grandkids to play in, and I want a game room. I'm a pool player, so there you go. I don't have that in the rental we have.
Yeah, that's pretty good living. Now, you're seeing homes in the market in your home price range currently that would meet these wants for your new home?
Yeah, let's push it a little bit. Maybe yes. Now you got 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Is it really worth $400 a month to continue to rent, pay somebody else's mortgage, not be in the space that you love, and be gaining equity?
Fair question. All right, so there you go. There's his first one up. Any comments on that?
Thought it was good.
Wow, she's being nice today.
I think that like when I went through the numbers, the payments of the purchase price are really like if this was an actual case, it's really a $400,000 purchase price. So the real question is, in all likelihood, if this was a real case scenario, he's probably downsizing in space, not getting a garage, not getting the house he wants for home ownership. So
That would be in New York. That would be in New York, New Jersey. It could be somewhere though, couldn't it? Now, what's interesting about what she did, what you're using a financial calculator, and that's the advantage, because now when people start mentioning payment, you work it backwards into the mortgage amount. See how now that's a great angle to pick up on. So that's an advantage of you guys not always leaning on your lender to do all those financial calculations. What are you using, Yael?
Zillow.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. So here, Adam, I think you did a nice job. Here's what he did. Let me ask you, where was my pain? We didn't really get to third base much. Where's my pain? I want to teach you guys to get to first base is this stuff. Second base is motivation. Third base is pain. Fourth is bringing it down to the ridiculous. And he kind of ended with a sliding into home would really $400 a month keep you. I would rather that statement have been, would $12.35 keep you from having all that?
It's much better.
I get it. All right. No worries. I'll give you a ping. Next up, Tanner. Tanner, buyer or seller?
Seller, please.
All right. Who has got a seller objection? They'd like Tanner is advanced. He's an advanced placement student. And anybody want to hear him do a seller objection?
My house is not clean or ready to put on the market.
All right. Then you're going to be the seller.
No.
Oh,
I'm going to listen today.
that'll be the day. All right. My house isn't clean to put on the market. Go.
I understand. Other than the house not being ready, Danny, is there anything else stopping you from taking advantage of the market right now?
So I'm going to say no. We're doing that because it's 4 minutes. So we're not attempting to be nice here. We just only have 4 minutes. So no, that's it.
Great. So Danny, help me understand. What do you think that would do ultimately? For your selling. What would that? Can you help me understand? What does that do for you? Like being not ready or ready. What would that do for you to get to get it sold? How would that affect your home to get the most money possible? I'm sorry, I got a little confused. Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, why do you feel that way?
Well, I want to get the most from my home, and I've got all these little projects. I've been reading on Zillow how to get your home ready for sale, and I gotta clean under the refrigerator. I gotta paint my closets, all that type of thing. So I'm not ready.
Cool. I get it, Danny. And when did you want to get it done? When did you want to get it, sold?
Well, I think that, besides it's winter, it's going to be spring here in a month or two. So I've got some weekends coming up. I'll get it ready probably in the next 90 days.
90 days. And the reason you're selling, Denny?
Now he's going to second base. We want a newer home. We want something that has just all the newer things to it. So there's a new community. We're going to go and check over there.
That's wonderful. And how long have you been looking to do that?
How soon?
Yes.
They got homes all the time. They got homes being built. So I ideally like to be in sometime this year.
This year, okay. Then let me ask you, currently, and there is no right or wrong answer, okay? Your thoughts of the market, do you think the market is working in your favor as a seller or against you?
I got to stop. Now, I thought he was going to go off the road. He didn't. Remember, I'm selling and buying. If he would have asked me what I thought, no wrong answer, what's going on, is the market working in your favor or not, how would I answer that? So you can just be aware that's the meat thermometer. That's rather than you tell them what's going on in the market, ask their opinion of what's going on in the market, and he clarified it by the position. And I totally forgot what you said. You asked from a seller standpoint? Yeah, did you, Tanner?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, I think it's probably not the best, but I think it's kind of neutral right now.
Mutual, okay. So if you waited a few more months or a couple of months, ultimately, what do you think would happen?
Well, I mean, people buy houses here all the time. I think spring is coming. People are gonna, I think it'd be fine. What's my downside?
Great, Danny, and thank you for being open-minded. You seem to be a businessman. Now, let me ask you, if there were more homes for sale in the same blocks, in the same area, do you think you would have a better chance in getting that most money possible, or it would affect you?
Well, why would you think there'd be more homes?
Well, we can only go based on the facts, right? So currently, there's not many homes available. And normally, there's a lot of sellers that would think just like you. And imagine, if everyone just came at the same time, how do you think do you think that would benefit you, or it would?
I don't know why that would happen, though. I mean, it doesn't, why would all of a sudden the sellers want to be on the market at the same time?
Probably they're thinking to, have it fixed, get it ready in the springtime. Now, Danny, let me ask you, how about, have your cake and eat it too? I would just go straight to close.
Okay,
So what we would do, we would make sure your home the home gets ready and it's presented at its best. It will take a couple of weeks, and we might be able actually to get you a buyer, like in a buyer in that time frame as well. And then, we can hit the market at the time you feel like it's gonna, it's gonna be comfortable for you.
all right, time. How we do, Tanner?
I don't know. I just got messed up a little bit. It was a simple objection, but it got me, confused. I'm sorry.
It's all right. You were doing really well, and you generally round the bases pretty good. You get a little bit messed up as you get into the third base, into the pain.
Yes.
So what are my potential pain points? This is open for anybody.
I would have say maybe explore a little bit more, Tanner, or I don't know, Danny, what do you think about this? What is it that you think you have to get the house ready for?
Okay, all right, I like it. So,
You know.
all right, carry that on. Just take a minute to carry that on. Mandalay,
Mightily.
okay, I got it. I'll never forget now.
Okay.
Mandalay. All right. Yeah, well, I got all these things. I got these things to do, right? I want to get the most I can for the house.
I understand. So help me see exactly what is it that you want to get done to the house.
Okay, well, I want to get these things cleaned, these things painted, get it decluttered, all those things.
Okay.
You're on to something.
I know, but now it's
Okay, so all right. Let me kind of put a bow on that. We'll go on the next one. So you're on to something, and Tanner, you were on to something too. So I'll give you some credit. All right, so Mandalay, right? Is that better?
mightily. It's getting better.
She's a
My-
mighty girl. Mighty, mightily.
Your name. Yeah, it took me
Mightily.
30 years. So here we go, Mandalay. So let me ask you, what do you want? What do you hope? What is your desire to get out of the sale of your home? How much?
$450.
And let me ask you, what if there was a buyer out there right now that would pay you that number for the house the way it is? And you don't have to go through all these things that would basically maybe be undone anyway by the buyer.
That would be great.
Well, if that buyer was there, wouldn't it make sense to see if we can find them?
Yeah, but presentations is everything, right? Like,
Well, yes. However, there's something else that's everything, is availability. Now, this is where Tanner was going. He almost hit it. He was going there. Now, do you think that you mentioned spring being a good time to year, and you were going to put on in spring. Do you think there's other sellers out there that might think that's a good time to sell?
yes, probably.
And so they're waiting. So we have a choice right now, in spite of the little things, your house does show well anyway, in spite of the little things, if you had to get into a race, wouldn't it be better to have a head start?
I see where you're heading, but I don't think the house is ready. There's
Okay.
I got
So-
walls painted different colors and it's just a mess.
I get that.
I'm
get that.
embarrassed to show the house.
Now that's an emotional thing. I don't think I can fix it in a couple of minutes. I guess my point is this: if you could get more money in spite of the walls being not, if a buyer is willing to give you more money today than you can get later, is that worth a little bit of embarrassment?
Absolutely.
So, or not? So there's a couple approaches to pain. Because if a seller wants to wait for a better time, the best time a seller can go on the market, you guys, is in a not better time, because most sellers want to wait to what? A better time. There you go. That's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Good job, Tanner.
Thank you, Miley. Thank you, Danny.
Mightily, that's it, mightily. All right, so I don't know what what, I was right. Come on.
Closer.
All right,
Mightily.
I don't know, I got Arnie Dodd, is that you? All right, then Yael, you're next.
Yeah.
Okay, Arnie,
Yeah,
you ready?
Arne.
All right. Just put Sheila back up. Just use Sheila. I got that. Or Sherry.
Call me Bob.
No, Arne, what a beautiful name. So you want to buyer or seller?
Buyer.
Anybody have any buyer, another buyer? I don't want to be in a rut here. Anybody got a buyer objection for Arne?
Yeah, with these banks shutting down, Denny, I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. I need to wait a few weeks.
Boy, I like that accent. You from New England? Where are you from, Luke? Come on. That was nice.
Sacramento.
All right, so Luke, you're going to play it. Arne, there's the objection. Go.
Okay. Hey Luke. You're worried about the bank shutting down. Is aside from that, is there anything else you're worried about?
Not really worried about. I mean, obviously interest rates make my payment really high, but I'm kind of mainly concerned with just our economy and what's going to happen with all these banks. People are just pulling their money out left and right.
Right. And I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in any situation. So I mean, is it really worth your time to worry about that?
Well, I mean, I think it's worth my time to wait a couple of weeks and see what happens for sure. Just to be.
Okay. All right. So what will waiting a couple of weeks accomplish?
So think of hang on, I'm going to just stop here and give you a little coaching, Arne.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's rather than you're attempting to handle when we haven't got around the bases yet. So the next base is going to be, let's talk about his motivation.
Okay. All right. So Luke, what made you decide to start looking to buy a house?
Obviously we're renting right now, so we want to have our own place. Of course, that's, everyone wants to buy their own home, right? That's kind of what we want to do.
Okay. And what would it mean to you to own your own home?
I mean, it'd be awesome and we could customize it. I mean, obviously the payment would be fixed for years and eventually, of course, our payment would be less than renting eventually. Yeah, I mean, there's more benefits, of course.
Okay. And so if you could get into your own home and you customize it, have a stable payment, how would that impact your life?
It would impact it greatly in a positive way.
In a positive way? Like give me one example. What's one positive thing that'll come from that?
Sense of ownership, because I mean, actual ownership rather, stability financially, in a few years, especially with not having to deal with rising rents.
Okay. All right. So what I'm hearing you say is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you want something that you can stay in for a while and that is your own, that you can be proud of, that you can have some equity in, something stable.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
What's the next base? What's the next base? You talked motivation. What's the third base? Pain. You gotta get the
Okay,
pain.
so if you couldn't have those things, how would that impact your life?
I mean, shoot, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be having like I mean, my retirement probably wouldn't be as good if I didn't own a home by then, you know, and I wouldn't be
Mhm.
building wealth over time.
Right,
Of course, rent's just gonna go up eventually.
right. And, okay, so it sounds like your future, instead of being more stable and having equity, it would have to be a lot more toned down on a budget. And
Hang on, let me help you out a minute. Now, remember, he's only thinking about waiting a few weeks or a month. He's not not gonna buy his whole life.
okay,
So you're almost attempting, you're almost thinking, what'd you say?
okay,
So what, just let's stop the role play. Let's talk in terms of, let's just have a conversation. What would be a pain point for someone in that situation? What is he not seeing?
Everything's-
what?
I was saying that everything's uncertain, so he's worried about the banks shutting down.
Oh, okay, all right, perfect. Now here's what I want. You guys remember, write this down. Uncertainty is your friend, not your enemy.
Okay,
Now, Luke, let me ask you, there's that uncertainty out there, right?
Yeah.
And do you think there's other people in the market that are uncertain like you?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
So that may mean, would you like to know how that might work in your advantage?
Yeah, how would that help me?
Well, if there's fewer buyers out there looking because of the uncertainty, can you see how you have a leg up? Because you're out there looking and they're not.
I see. What if something happens to the banks? And
Well, I got that. What if it doesn't? What I'm asking you is, do you want to capitalize on the uncertainty? Now there's more, and there's more. Do you think there's some sellers out there worrying about the banks and the uncertainty?
oh, I'm positive.
Well, let me ask you, do you know when the best time to buy is?
When is that?
The best time to buy, and you guys need to remember this. The best time to buy is when sellers fear tomorrow is worse than today. So you stepping in, I mean, you can already see what's going on. Nobody's failing. The money's fine. The government's stepping in. It's not crashing and burning. So there's a high probability we'll be okay. However, you can take advantage of that because you can find that seller might not, your offer will be a good one for you when you know that the seller's not happy with it, yet they're afraid to let it go. This time right now may actually be the very best time for you to get the best price on your home. Is it worth exploring?
Mm.
You got to be a yes, or you can't be on my call anymore.
Well, you said, I'm a buyer, but your question was like geared towards the seller on that last one.
Did I screw up? How did I screw up? I said,
No, it's
but you want to get a good buy on your house, right? Did I say it wrong? If you could get a better buy on the house right now, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I said. So
I get it.
So
Denny, I have a question.
wouldn't that be an idea? For everyone that wants to wait for some concern, there's a reason why that waiting could be their advantage. That's what I want you to think about.
Denny, I have a question on that one. Can I ask a question?
Sure, Martin.
So I wasn't sure about the clarify part. Would it have been good to ask him what he thinks, what impact, if the banking system blows up, how's that going to impact his life in owning a house when he already has a mortgage in place and everything's done, right? I mean, I just wondered if that information would be helpful.
Yeah, well, that's actually a pretty good question. I mean, if your money's gone, it's gone when you own, it's gone when you rent, right? Is that where you're coming from?
Right. I just don't know if when he said, I'm worried about the economy blowing up, but if he owns his house and he has a mortgage locked in, he has more certainty. I mean, they can't foreclose on the house because the bank goes bad. He still can make the payment.
There you go. I think that's excellent reasoning, Martin. Good point. Good point. Man, you guys are smart on this call. Yael.
Yeah,
All right, buyer, seller.
I know I'm nervous today. Either seller.
All right. Seller. Who would like to hear a seller objection? She's a very strong listing agent. So she works and has a pretty good presence in her community. A lot of her people are stubborn. Okay.
I just had an objection that I kind of want some advice on. So a couple came into my open house on Tuesday. Love the open house. At the moment, it seemed like they love the open house, love the house. They have to sell their home to buy it. Schedule a listing appointment for Friday, kind of hesitantly. They said, oh, it's a little mess. We want to clean it up first. But I'm like, well, hey, you know, I'm not the buyer. I can see through all that stuff. I think we should still meet. Plan to meet. They, on like yesterday, they said, hey, and the husband texted me and said, hey, my wife decided she really didn't like that house. We got your information. We're going to keep in touch, but we're going to wait right now. Like what, the objection is they didn't like the house that they seen. What's a good way to get around that and still try to get an appointment?
Should
Can you
I-
do that, Yael?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I would call and
No,
say,
you got
hey,
to role play.
role play. Okay, but he said it was a text coming in. Is that a
Well,
text?
then call. Ring,
So
ring.
I would be calling, and who am I speaking to?
Luke, you can play it.
Who's playing the other side?
Cool hand, Luke.
I'll play it.
Luke? Okay, fine. So, hey, Luke, so I just got your text and you had said that you guys weren't sure about this house. So you wanted to wait before meeting. So I totally get that. I just wanted to clarify with you when you guys are going to be ready. When you guys are going to be ready to, what's your time frame for selling right now? Or no, hold on, pause. Besides for the fact that you didn't like the house, was there any other reason that you guys didn't want to meet with me?
Well, I think he's a buyer. I think you're a buyer, aren't you, Luke?
He's a seller. He doesn't want to meet for the listing appointment.
I'm a sell by. We, you know, honestly, you know, we really, at first we thought we loved the house. Now, not so much. So we're probably just going to browse around, see if we find anything else that's available that we may like.
Right.
And then we'll look into selling our house.
I get it. So are you in a position that you need to sell before buying, or you can buy without selling?
Well, from our conversation before, most likely we would need to sell.
You would need to sell first. Okay. But you still at the same time want to see what's out there and find something you like first, even though.
If there's nothing available that we even like, then I don't even want to think about selling. I just.
No, that I get it. I get it. So what I have to offer is basically I work with sellers like you to help them maximize their asset and make sure that they're netting the most money they can. So there's no obligation if you don't, you know, if it's not the right time or it's not the right fit, you know, obviously just by meeting, you're not committing to anything. But I would love to come by and we can just continue our conversation and answer any questions that you may have about selling your home. How does that sound?
Well, we definitely need to get the place cleaned up first. I'll need to talk to my wife too as well and see. I know she said, you know, just to cancel it because she changed her mind on that house, but I got your number. I'll get back with you.
Okay. And was there any other agents that you guys were speaking with?
No.
Okay, awesome. So, you know, like we had talked about, the mass is totally cool. I mean, like I can see past everything. Was there any questions that you had about the sale of your home?
I'm trying to think here. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think? Like, how much is demand right now? Is there a good demand right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. All of these things, you know, if we just sit down and meet, I can give you a value and it will really help you guide your direction because your house may be worth more than you think it is. It may be worth less. And, you know, with my expertise, I would be able to guide you, but I wouldn't really be able to give you more information without meeting with you and seeing your property. So, yeah, so I know that you're concerned with the mess, but other than that, is there any other reason that's holding you back from meeting today?
Well,
From
I mean,
keeping the appointment tomorrow?
I do need to chat with my wife still, because I know she canceled originally and I haven't spoken to her since, so.
To her since, okay. And yeah, and if Friday doesn't work, we can do Sunday, that's fine as well. So I'll just follow up with you or give you a call later in the afternoon, see where you guys are holding, because I'm just, you know, I think that I just love what I do, and I really want to make sure that the people I'm working with are guided and that they can be successful in their next move. So I'm here to help, and I'll call you back. Denny, tell me everything. I'm going to shut up. Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Denny.
There you go. Hey, what I liked was she went back for the second close for the appointment, which is good. You got to be able to do that. What I'd like to do with this particular one is follow up with it. And let me ask you guys a question. Is he a buyer or a seller?
He's a seller.
Both.
He is a seller.
Seller.
Why? Because he has to sell first. So let me before we go to the next one. Let's just assume, because I'd be kind of curious how you'd handle this at the appointment. Nice job at closing for the appointment. When he's kind of like, say, "Oh, I have to talk to my wife," I say, "I understand." However, if she left it up to you, when would we be meeting? Because he's using the higher authority clause. He's pushing it off to somebody else. Nail his butt down. And somebody, I don't know who's in a crowded room, I don't know how to change that noise. So if you're in a noisy room, just mute yourself for a second, please. Now, let me ask you, if he's a seller, this is where I would go with that. Luke, stay with me just for a second. So I'm still on the phone. I'm that right in the middle of that conversation. And let me ask you, what would you do if you found that house that really excited you and your wife? What would you do?
Well, we'd want to buy it, of course. I mean, whatever we got to do to get it.
Well, you said you had to sell your house first.
Right. True. Now, I guess
So how are you going to do that?
That's a good point.
You see, you've got to help them realize, because that was kind of glossed over. She was working at closing for the appointment. Now she might have got to that at the meeting. However, let's have that conversation. So, wouldn't it concern you? You've been shopping pretty hard lately for a home, and one finally hits the market and you can't buy it. How are we going? What is your plan on solving that?
I mean, somebody told me a long time ago I could like buy a replacement property first. I mean, isn't it possible to do that?
Well, I mean, sure, you could do anything if you have the financial horsepower to do that. I mean, you have to have either a bridge loan to get your equity or be able to buy that house and own your house. Are you in that financial position?
I don't know. I've never really looked into it.
Well, let's just assume you're not for this, okay? So who would like to take it from there? How would you handle that? I'll give you 2 minutes.
1 minute. Denny, you didn't give me any can you give me feedback on how I did in my phone call?
Yeah, well, I did give you some feedback, and maybe it didn't come through. I did give you the 2 positive things you did well. Or the 1 positive thing you did.
I want to hear the negative things. I want to hear
Negative things. I don't know if I have that much time. Okay, so
shut up.
no, you were closing for the appointment. Now you were wordy towards the end. I don't really have anything major. I think you missed a couple. I think you missed the opportunity when he was. You didn't expose his weakness. His weakness is what I'm talking about. If he sees the house, he said, "I haven't been able to find the house." I would have said, "Well, what if you do? How are you going to buy it?"
Okay,
Because,
so-
because,
Right.
yeah, it's part of the pain. And you guys can't solve a problem for our buyers and sellers until they know they have one. So it's our job to help them understand they might have a problem. And so now I've asked the question, and now we can, so this is what I would have done. So, there may be a way that we can work this out. When could I meet with you and your wife to take a look at your house and see, there may be a way you can have your cake and eat it too. Are evenings better or weekends?
Weekends.
Now, he's being nice to me. However, remember, I'm coming to the appointment with value instead of, there was really no value. You just wanted to come in and talk to him some more. There was no, you didn't have a trick in your bag.
Right.
So that would be the feedback on that.
Thank you.
So let's take a minute. Who wants to have the conversation? Now you're at the table. How do you handle? We had to deal with this for a year. It's the homeless seller. They're afraid to sell. I mean, they can't buy until they sell, yet they're afraid to sell. There won't be anything to buy. Who wants to handle that for 2 minutes? Anybody?
We might have. Can you repeat the scenario?
Yeah, okay, it's just cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Luke they want to buy a house, if they have to sell first. And it's a classic seller that's afraid to
Hands up.
sell. Who's got it? What is that? Who is that? Claiborne. Who is that? Oh, he's on the phone. All right. No one's stepping up to do it.
Adam got it.
Adam, you want it?
Yeah, I want to.
All right, you got 2 minutes. Go.
All right, we just sat down at the table. I can't see your name. I'm sorry. So
It's,
many
Luke,
times. Luke.
Luke.
Hey, Luke, appreciate you meeting with me today. So tell me again, what's holding y'all from selling this beautiful home that we just toured?
Yeah, thought we liked it at first, didn't really like it once we thought about it and looked at it.
I'm going to stop. That's not the issue.
That's fine. I can go from there.
I'm sorry? That's not
He
the
was
issue.
just saying that he didn't like the house.
Yeah, but I want you to deal with the issue.
Sorry.
The question is, what are you going to do if you find a house you like? How are you going to buy it? He's not. How do you solve the homeless seller issue?
Yes, agreed. Okay, so you saw the home. Well, I mean, I have to have. I was going to go for. Are you seeing? In the last year, you've been looking real hard. Have you seen some homes that you would have liked to buy?
Well, let's just skip all that, because if he did, let's just assume that here, start here. Luke, if you saw a house, we just had this conversation. If you saw a house now, how are you going to buy it?
So Luke, yep.
Go ahead.
So Luke, if you saw a house that you and your wife loved, how are you going to buy it?
That's a good question. Obviously, I'm assuming I'd have to get my home into like get listed or something and get it. Honestly, I'm not really, didn't really think about that scenario. How would I, Adam?
Yeah, how would he?
So I mean, that's my concern, Luke, right? So you tell me, if you were to find the perfect home and in the next month and you couldn't purchase it, how would that make you feel?
It would make me, I wouldn't feel too good at all. I mean, couldn't I write an offer and just like contingent on selling?
Yes, of course you can make offers contingent on selling, but I thought you said this is a home that you really want to get.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, and you think that wouldn't work? Why wouldn't that work? Like just commit to selling it.
So imagine you're selling your home, right? Which is it sounds like what we.
I got to stop a minute. Adam, that is brilliant. You guys, that's brilliant. When they ask a question, turn it around and make them the seller. Instead of preaching at them, well, if you were selling your house and these people wanted it, but this guy really wanted it, but he had to sell his house first. Well, perfect. Keep going. I love it.
So Luke, let's say you have your house on the market and you're getting a lot of activity on it. You're priced well, and you have an offer coming in. One is contingent on the buyer selling their home, and the other one is to close on your timeline. What offer are you going to accept?
Well, assuming they're the same price, obviously the easier one is, you know, the one that doesn't need to sell their house.
So in that scenario, you know, the buyer that has a contingency is going to lose out, correct?
Right, right. I mean, yeah, true.
So how are you gonna solve the problem? You got a minute. Hurry up. Solve the problem.
So let me ask you again, Luke. I mean, if that perfect home comes on the market and you and your wife are just want, you know, that is the house, how are you going to buy it?
Well, you've asked him that 3 times.
3. Let me try another way.
No, I want you, how you know, it's time for you to solve the problem. You're the doctor.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I would just solve it. Preach a little. You know, the answer is we get your house ready for market, and that way, when the right home hits the market, you'll be in a position to get it.
All right, I'll stop you there. So how does that work? I mean, this is a real issue. You're asking a seller, okay, so the house comes on the market. Ah, awesome. Let's list ours. And then that's gone before our house is gone. How does that solve the problem? Or somebody wants to buy Luke's house and they're afraid to sign a contract because that one over there may be gone. There's an answer to this, guys. I mean, we don't have to ask sellers to hop out of a plane and catch the parachute on the way down. What's my favorite question to ask?
How about having,
Tanner?
Would you like your cake?
Yes, that's it. Somebody say it.
How would you like to
have
eat
your
your
cake
cake?
and eat it too?
That's it. How'd you like your cake and eat it too, Luke?
That'd be awesome.
Well, what if, just what if there were a buyer that would pay you your number for your house and they don't even want to move in right away? And they would buy your house and let you stay there. And for example, now you're going to find out, don't put a time frame on it. So if you had money in your pocket right now and you put all your effort into looking, because now you're a buyer, how long do you think it would be before you saw a house you and your wife would like to buy?
I don't know. I mean, inventory is kind of low right now. It could take a while to find the one we like. And I'd hate to be in contract with the buyer.
What's a while?
I don't know. It could be a few months. I mean, we want like, you know, we want a pool, RV access, and it has to be in 95833.
I got it. They come up. So would it be 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, $1, all for Norton? You stand up and holler. What would it be?
I don't know, Denny. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe I just keep this house then. I'm gonna refer you to somebody I don't like.
For the record, I was going there to start. It's faulty though. Needs
Yeah.
work.
No, I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, he's kind of fishtailing. Again, it's okay. You can do that. You're going to listen. If they don't have second base, has got to be strong, guys. Motivation's got to be strong. This guy is in a pickle. He will be in the pickle the rest of his life. Now, I tell you what, there's one seller. I tell you, we got one more idea out there, Luke, and you're so exciting to talk to you. Let me just give you one more shot. What if we could find a seller that would take a contingency so you could sell your house? Would you like that?
So you mean like they would wait until we found one?
You would find the house you like, but that seller then will say, okay, Luke, we'll give you time to sell your house. Would that work for you?
Right. But I thought you were just saying like that's going to be hard to find.
Well, I'm not saying it's impossible, but would that work for you? Because I have a plan.
I mean, of course that'd work, but it sounds
Awesome.
not really happening.
Quit being a Debbie Downer. Come on. Yes, it will. It'll work. Now, here's the thing. What we have to do is change our strategy. What we have to do is look for houses nobody else wants.
How am I gonna want it in?
Well, well, there may be a seller out there that's overpriced and it's been on the market since Nixon was president, right? And so you can come along and then you can make them an offer subject to sell in your house. They might just take it. However, that's we're gonna have to go shopping in the. I would say this, you guys. I'm taking it to the ridiculous. Sometimes to make an argument solid, you take it to the extreme. We're going to have to go shopping in the dent can bin in the grocery store. We're not going to be able to get one of the. Oh, by the way, you know why the best listings sell first?
Why did the best listings sell first? Because they're nice, maybe? I don't know.
Because they're the best. Because they're the best. And the rest are the leftovers. So if you want, we can either find a buyer that will give you top dollar for your home and allow you to stay there so you can shop and be a cash buyer and go in strong, or we'll have to go in weak to the houses nobody else wants. And your third option is you can just die in that house. I wouldn't say that.
All right,
But,
Dan.
I mean, the bottom line is that's their options. Can you come up with another one? I mean, we can find funny ways, creative ways, soft ways, whatever to say it. That is it. Everything to me is a matrix. Can you think of another option? Well, you have bridge loans and all that other stuff, but can you think of another option? And if they're not motivated enough to make the move, well, you know what? Maybe you should stay there, Luke. Well, I got a baby coming. I need a new bedroom.
Here's one other idea, Danny. Couldn't I just sell it to the open door and they would wait, right? Like in a contract and they'll like wait until I find a house, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's another idea. We can wholesale it. That's it.
I find, Denny, like getting people over that hump, like you're saying very simple. Get your house ready for the market, and then when a house comes on, you'll be ready to go. Like you solved his problem. But I find that people are like how to get them from here to come on board with you. Like there's obviously something else holding them back.
Oh, there you go. If the puzzle doesn't fit, that piece may come from another box.
Because we see everything and it's obvious to us, like, duh, you got to do this, just do what you got to do. Like, whatever. Yeah.
And you had your hand up. What would you like to talk? We've got a couple of minutes. What would you like to talk about? You're muted, dear.
Yeah, I have an unmotivated buyer. We're looking for houses in a 600. They are horse lover. So they go looking for this house with great yard for their horse. And then they want to look for another house at 800,000. That is closer to their horse trail. And all of a sudden now they want to pay 500 for this house because
I got it.
they think there is a lot of upgrades they need to put into the house.
I got it.
Yeah.
You've got an unrealistic buyer.
Yes.
Anybody ever work with an unrealistic buyer?
Yeah.
So, all right. So if they're unrealistic, what do you think their motivation is, high or low?
Low.
And then working with an unmotivated buyer with low motivation, probably the only thing that would be less productive would be staying home and watching Dr. Phil. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy. You know why? They're not a buyer.
What do you tell them? How can she A, get rid of them, or B, get on the same page as
It's
them?
simple. Evidently, your criteria is so unique. I don't know that I can meet your needs, so I'd rather turn you down than let you down so we can part friends. And do the happy dance when they drive off in the distance.
Thank you. I actually went in and asked for their motivation. I asked why do they want to buy now? And they said they need a boarding place for their horse. And I asked why they need a boarding place for their horse. Where is their horse right now? And And they said that place is closed down in a month, in a year and 7 days. So, yeah, that's the motivation right there. But, yeah, I think I would need to wait for a little bit.
You know me, I'm kind of a smart aleck. Last thing I'll say, you guys, before the weekend, I'm a smart aleck. Sometimes I like to have fun. Maybe I'm a smart aleck because I get bored. I like to come up with creative things to say. I gave my speech and I had a slide. I'll show it to you maybe next week. That people I want them waiting for 3.5% interest rates. I said, listen, I have a high school picture and I got my mullet, right? I want hair like I had in high school too. And there's a better chance I'll have that before you'll see 3%. How about that?
What was the line you said? I'd rather let you down than let you go. I don't remember what you said.
I'd rather turn you down than let you down. Love you, mean it. Bye-bye. So did anybody hear anything worthwhile today? It was a great crowd, great participation. I love your growth. You guys, I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a little credit. You listen to a lot of people that aren't on this call. They don't know anything about this model. They just start blabbering. You guys are following the model. And if you keep practicing, you'll be able to say 306 yards. Well, maybe not, maybe 36 yards, boom. And you'll be able to hit that golf ball the right distance. So anything to say before you go?
Uncertainty is your friend.
What is it?
Uncertainty is your
yes.
friend. And I closed somebody last week with, hey, if I were to sell your house quickly and for top dollar, would that be a problem for you? Smart Alex.
Love it.
It's great though.
All right, guys, have an awesome weekend and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Danny.
Denny. Bye.
Bye, y'all. We got to catch up.
Bye.